Hey Andy, can you hear me?
Yes.
Can you just tell me about that performance today and your feelings about
Yeah. So definitely wasn't the best match that I've played. Um, First couple of sets, I don't know if you guys heard me talking on the court after the match, but I was just saying like I just did got the balance like completely wrong. Like at the beginning, I was not doing enough with the ball, and then he was dictating the points, and then I started being too aggressive and going for too much and making mistakes, and then finally started to get, I guess, a little bit the balance right of what I had to do on the court, and actually finished like wasn't playing really well all of the time, but at moments I was starting to hit the ball better, serving better, um, yeah, moving forward a bit more at the right times because I was moving forward in the second set, third set, but probably at the wrong moments, and yeah, just got that balance right at the end, and yeah, it was a pretty special one to get through really because I didn't play my best. No one there watching. Long match, five setter, first one I played in a long time, so it's a great effort to get through.
Thank you, Roz. Simon from Glasgow. Simon, you are live.
Hi, Andy. It's a great comeback. Congratulations. I just wondered, at what stage in that match did you sort of really feel like you could turn it around?
I probably once I'd won the third set, really, because I was just starting to play a little bit better, and I wasn't feeling as under pressure on my serve. And yeah, I just felt like I was, not that I was controlling all of the points. I just felt like I was a little bit in control of more points, and was starting to understand the way I had to play to maybe win the match. Which at the beginning I didn't. Very tricky game. He's a very good player, and looking at his results, like he's beaten some very good players on hard courts. And he's also lost in tight matches to some very good players as well. So I knew it was going to be hard. And yeah, he is a tricky game, not easy to play against. And also, I felt a little bit at the beginning that, I don't know, I felt like I was like pacing myself almost a little bit. Sort of happens a bit at the beginning of your career when you've not played many five-set matches, and I kind of felt like mentally I didn't know how I was going to feel if I played a long one, so I didn't want to use up too much energy. And then when you do that, maybe don't move as well, don't play the right shots, and the match becomes much longer. So it's completely counterproductive. But just psychologically, I think it can happen when you've not played one for a long time.
Thank you very much, Simon. Let's bring up Cindy from the New York Times. Cindy, when the screen is green, you are live.
Hi, Andy. 4 hours and 39 minutes. How does your body feel? Did you find an ice bath? And lastly, were you aware that players came out of their suite to start watching this match?
Yeah, I mean, I was just did an interview before, and I was saying like that for me was one of the things that helped. Not necessarily because it's rare that you have lots of like players watching your match. So in some ways that can be a little bit distracting. Like if you look up and you've got guys that are in the top 5, top 10 in the world watching you and stuff. But for me, I had like my father-in-law was there, so he was up in the suite watching me. I had my brother was there with his coach watching. There's a few of the British players came out to watch and support as well. So although the atmosphere was very flat overall, at the end of the match, and as I was starting to turn it around, I could at least look up and see some faces and different points of the court to give me a little bit of encouragement, which definitely helped.
And what about your physical? Like, how do you feel? And was there an ice bath available for you?
Yeah, so they said it's fine to use it. They have 2 in there, but it's, I mean, obviously, like on the off days and stuff, they're trying to restrict the amount of players that are in the locker room, but also using the facilities in there. But they said, I mean, after, a match like that, of course, you can go in and use it, which was helpful, but it's not it's not comfy on your toes. I don't know why, but like if you get in an ice, I do ice baths all the time, but you get in one after playing a long match when your toes and stuff are sore, and it's really, really uncomfortable on the toes. I don't know why that is, but it's really not comfortable. So yeah, glad to have that over with. But physically, I actually did pretty well. I think, my toes and stuff were hurting, but actually, like, I did pretty well for being such a long match. I don't know if that was because I maybe didn't use up so much energy the first couple of sets, because I was sort of pacing myself a little bit, but I did quite well physically.
Thank you, Cindy.
Thank you.
Let's go next to Ubaldo. Very nice to see you. When the screen is green, you are on, Ubaldo. Very nice.
Okay. Well, I wanted just to first of all, congratulations, Andy. Second, can you hear me?
Yes.
Also, can you hear me?
Yes.
Second, I don't know if it is because these are different times and situation, but the way you're talking now is different from what I've always heard you talking, with this sort of sad voice in different situations. You talk very low keys, and now you're more. I can hear you better, and you sound more. I don't say happy, but you look different. Is that the situation that changes you the way to approach the press conferences?
I don't know. I haven't thought about changing the way. I mean, look, certainly for me, like, let's say the last, I don't know, 3 years. I don't know if it's always been the case after matches, but the last 3 years, like, I've spoken about it many times, saying I was not particularly happy playing tennis because it was miserable and it was uncomfortable and my body hurt and I didn't feel good, whereas now I've just played a 4.5-hour match when, I never thought I'd be able to, and I felt way better today at the end of that match than I did when I played Bautista in Australia, and I'm not sitting here with my hip throbbing and aching, and I'll be able to sleep fine tonight and things like that. So yeah, I mean, my quality of life significantly better, and I'd imagine that would probably improve my general mood and general well-being.
Thank you, Ubaldo.
Okay. I hope to hear always your voice as strong as now.
Thank you very much. Let's go to Craig from Cross Court. I believe your audio has been fixed and you are live, Craig. Thank you.
Andy, greetings from Sydney. With all the comebacks you've had in your career, where would you rate something like this when you consider down 2 sets to love, down a break in the third, down match point in the fourth, down a break in the fifth?
Well, I actually had totally forgotten I had a match point against me. Where would I rate it? I mean, I don't know. It's difficult because I can't remember all of the matches that I played, like all the 5-setters and stuff, and matches where I've come back from 2 sets. But in terms of like the effort and work and everything that's gone into getting to this point, it's for sure the hardest. Like, the whole journey, the match itself, like physically, I've felt worse in matches, and I've probably had better comebacks. But yeah, I mean, I don't remember loads about the match, to be honest. But yeah, when you say it, like, obviously I was down a break in the fifth, right, as well. I was down a break in the third.
Yep.
So yeah, I mean, yeah, it was very close to going out, but kept coming back and yeah, kept fighting. So I'm proud of that.
Thank you. Andy, you'll see a blue screen to your left. This comes from Thomas Rodriguez from ESPN Argentina. Andy, what do you think about the Del Potro surgery last week? And it seems that you are an inspiration for each other. Would you comment on that, please?
Yeah, so, I mean, obviously, I don't know exactly which surgery he had, but yeah, I mean, I was sad, obviously, when I heard that. I was actually, yeah, chatting to my team about, maybe reaching out to him, in the last couple of days, because, yeah, I mean, he's been unbelievably unlucky during his career with multiple injuries, but keeps trying and keeps wanting to come back to play. I during my career would have been certainly healthier than him, but these last couple of years I can totally understand like what he's going through just now. Like mentally, it must be unbelievably challenging. But yeah, I hope that this surgery is a success for him. I hope he manages to get healthy again and back on the court, because if he didn't totally love tennis, there's no chance he would have kept trying. He obviously loves the sport, and it'd be brilliant to see him get a few more years out of his body, because he deserves that.
Andy, we have another question to the screen as well. This is from Matt from the New York Times. Was it helpful being able to hear Jamie in such a quiet stadium?
Yeah, I mean, I guess I kind of just mentioned that it was. I don't know if that's Jamie, my coach, or my brother. I don't know which one, but yeah, like I said, just sort of having some people around in a very empty stadium, the biggest tennis stadium that we play in, it certainly helped me for sure. It's not like, for me, it's not always like what the person is saying, but just I often, like when I'm playing in when there's big crowds and stuff, like I often like engage and like make eye contact with people in the crowd. I don't know, gives me some energy and stuff. So that helps. Whether actually hearing them, I don't know if that makes a big difference.
Thank you. Let's go to Rob from The Sun. Rob, when the light is green, you're on.
Andy, you're playing Felix next. He's a 20-year-old, so he's obviously a bit of a generation between you when you were playing. What do you know about him, and what sort of challenge do you think he'll bring playing?
He hits a big ball. He moves well. I hit with him once, only in Beijing last year. I think that was the only time I'd hit with him. But yeah, I mean, I think he's around 21 in the world, is he? Ranking wise, something like that. I mean, he's getting up to the top of the game. I think he quite obviously likes playing on the hard courts. Has had some struggles with his serve at times. So that's something that I'll look to capitalize on. But yeah, I mean, he's a top young player, and he'll have an excellent career for sure. He's always, I mean, he's been really good since he was very young. I think physically, he's a fantastic mover and good athlete. So yeah, he's developed fast.
Thank you. Let's go to Peter from ESPN. Peter, nice to see you.
Yes, I pass. I'm having technical issues here. Thank you. Great effort, Andy.
Thank you.
Okay, I'm going to read you a question, Andy, from the Associated Press. Were you able to appreciate at all in the moment or after the match after being away so much time from Grand Slam action, the effort that you put in today?
Yeah, I mean, I think like it was pretty emotional, like straight after the match finished. And then, yeah, when I got back to the locker room and sort of look at my phone and, see the messages from, family and friends and, the team and stuff, like, they're the people that have kind of seen me go through everything and have been there and seen the tough times. So I don't know how many of us actually, believe that I'd be back kind of, winning matches like that. So it was emotional after the match finished for sure. But it's more like, when you read the messages from your family and friends and stuff, that's kind of when you feel it, because, well, I don't know why that is, but you do, or I do anyway. And today's win meant a lot, and like I said, a lot's gone into it.
Thank you. If you look straight ahead, Ava from the Washington Post. Ava, good to see you. You are live when the screen is green.
Hey, Andy, sorry, you've talked a lot about the people watching in suites already, but you were out there yesterday, I think, watching. Is that because the suite is there for you to use and there's nothing else to do? Is it because you like watching tennis, you want to go out and support people? Is it? I just kind of am wondering the reason as to, in all the things that you guys have set up around grounds, you guys just want to hang out in the suites and watch.
Yeah, I mean, I think like yesterday I watched a little bit of the Zverev and Anderson match because I was interested in the match. I thought it was a good first round match. And yeah, I mean, the seats and stuff that you've got to watch from is, brilliant. It's really nice out there. And I mean, I think for the players, just having some people there, helps just a little bit. I know some of the players, like yesterday, when Cameron Norrie was playing, quite a few of the British players went out to watch and support him, which we can do when there's fans, but it's not quite the same because normally it's pretty loud and sometimes difficult to get seats and stuff. Or, if you do go out to watch, like people might ask for autographs and it's just not necessarily always appropriate to go out and watch matches. So yeah, I think it's good if the guys can support each other, and I just think it just helps a little bit. If you're on the court and there's just a few people around, it's better than no one, that's for sure. And helped me a little bit today.
Andy, we have one more question that will be on the blue screen to your left. I'm sorry, Ava. We have one last question from Willie Weinbaum from ESPN. What questions do you have about yourself before this match, and what questions did you answer as the match progressed?
Can we let her finish her question, please?
Go ahead, Ava. That's fine.
Well, this is great. It's a very serious follow-up question. I was going to ask if there was anyone, if you looked up and saw watching, that you would be unhappy to see watching you play.
When I played in the Olympics against Wawrinka in the first round in London, Federer was sitting in his box for that match, and that was quite weird. Like, I don't know, it was just a bit weird looking up and seeing him sitting in the player's box, like when usually you look up and you see kind of coaches and family and whatnot, and he was there in his Swiss tracksuit and stuff. And I don't know, it's just, that's, he's obviously one of the best players of all time, and he's just sitting in the box. So he maybe, I don't know, I played well in that match, so I don't want to say put me off, but yeah, I mean, there's not anyone I wouldn't want to watch me, but it definitely, you feel certain players' presence more than others, maybe.
Thank you, Ava. Andy, the last question will be the question from ESPN. I'll repeat it again. What questions did you have about yourself before this match, and what questions did you answer as the match progressed?
I think the biggest question would have been the physical one, like how I would get on. Well, it was actually the last question I got asked, like in the pre-match on-court interview. Tom Rinaldi asked me, and actually made me think about it a little bit, because he was like, he asked me something about, what do you think if you go to 5 sets? Like, how do you think you'll feel? And I was like, actually, don't know, really. I hadn't thought about it that much, but after it, I was like, yeah, well, I haven't played one for a long time. And so, yeah, I guess that was the thing that I was most happy with, was that I lasted, and it was humid today, not that hot, but obviously a long match, and I did pretty well physically. So yeah, I guess that was probably my biggest doubt going in, and the biggest answer that I got from the match today was physically that I was good, but tennis-wise, I could do better.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Andy.
Thank you.
Thank you.